So I had plums, and I had this cookbook from Medrichs called Pure Desserts sitting on my table, and that's where I found a recipe for a plum and almond tart, which I had never made before. But I'm telling you, it's one of the best desserts I've made all summer long, hands down, and I really want to share it with you today. So I'm just going to dive right in. Let's start talking about how to make this beautiful plum and almond tart. First off, let's talk about the quality of the plums. These plums that I have right now, they're juicy, they're sweet, they're everything that a plum should be because we're in late summer right now and they're in season. I wouldn't make this tart if you have par standard fruit because that's going to translate into the end product. So make sure you have good plums. And right now I've got 5 plums, about medium size, and I'm just pitting them, cutting them in half, and setting them aside. This is a pretty quick process. To make the almond batter, we're going to take almond flour, sugar, salt, all-purpose flour, and baking powder and put it into a food processor. I'm using my Ninja today. If you have whole almonds at home, that's just fine. Just take them through that food processor until they look like sand before you start mixing this. So I'm just mixing it until it's all combined, and then I'm going to add in my egg and my 3 tablespoons of firm but not quite so hard butter. The temperature of the butter is important because it helps it mix better. So this comes together very fast. It's very easy. This is one of the most easiest batters you could think of. And that's it. And you just mix it till it comes together. I'm using a prepared 9-inch tart pan that has butter on the outside. If you don't have a tart pan, you can just use a pie pan. Just make sure you use a lot of butter on the outside. So you see here, that mixture is crumbly, and that's just fine. What I'm going to do is spread it out, and I'm going to take my fingers and pat it around so it's a nice even layer. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm going to come back to those plums and arrange them so that they're just about 1 inch away from the outer edge. And that's the only requirement here. If you push them up to the outer edge, the juices are going to want to pool into that crack, and it might be hard to pull the tart out later on because it's going to caramelize on those edges. So just try to push them towards that center, and that's it. So the first time I made this, I was worried because it felt like the dough was so low and the plums were so high up that it would bake kind of weird. But the dough puffs up and the plums bake down, and it's so beautiful when it comes out. On a personal note, I would recommend that you, while it's still warm, get it out of your house and share it with your loved ones. Because I made the mistake of letting it sit on my countertop, and I kept taking, at first I would take little slivers of it like nobody would notice because it's so good, it was so addictive, but I eventually almost ate probably 3/4 of it over a course of 2 days. I'm not kidding, this plum and almond tart is so delicious, and I really am happy to share it with you. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jen Barney from the Toasty Meringue, and I hope you have a great day and great luck baking this awesome tart.